Bitcoin today. Yes, if you are aware, if you have watched my video from yesterday, we made it very clear. The price of Bitcoin, as long as we are going to stay above this 46,000 range, we could see more of a range bound and also a potential relief rally type of scenario around this 48,000 range before choosing an actual trend direction. And as for now, you can see the price is still holding this support around this 46,000 range. And the question here is this support going to be there, and price of Bitcoin is also going to form this double bottom and try to break here to the upside? Because we know, according to this right angle broadening wedge, the price of Bitcoin, if it wants to show an actual movement, we have to overcome this resistance line, this red line, because this line is actually acting as a strong line of resistance. And if the price of Bitcoin manages to break out of this all resistance, 20 exponential moving average resistance around 48,000 area, monthly CPI lines right between 47 to 50,000 range, you can see so many confidence around that range, and also resistance for Bitcoin. So if the Bitcoin price actually breaks all of this resistance and flip this into support, then there could be a massive movement here towards this 56,000 range, and this 56,000 is our first price target from this CPI line. Because we are aware, guys, the price of Bitcoin, if we look at this in a bit different way, right now the falling trend line here could be also playing a very important role. Why? Because if you look at this here in a whole, from this bigger frame, from this top till the bottom area, you can see the price has already broken out of this falling trend line. And if you look at this in a 4-hour time frame, this is what you see. The price has already broken out of this resistance line, also flipped it into support. Now if this here is going to hold the price around this 46,000 range, we have said we could see price trying to break here to the upside. Why? Because this upper line here is a strong line of resistance, lower line is a strong line of support. So if the price of Bitcoin wants to show an actual movement, then the price has to overcome this resistance around 48,500 line, and in that case, right, we will be breaking out of this 20 exponential moving average, which is around 48,000, central CPI line, which is also around 48,000, and the price could be actually showing a movement towards this 50 to 51,000 range before choosing a trend direction. So that's why, guys, we want the price of Bitcoin, if it's going to see more of a consolidation, then to stay inside this parallel channel, because in this parallel channel, the upper line is a strong line of resistance, lower line is a strong line of support. But if we look at this central line, this central line is for us the most important line, because as I've already said you, breaking out of this 48,500 range, right, we will be invalidating all the resistance here, the 20 exponential moving average resistance, CPI resistance, and the price could be actually starting this new move towards this 51,000 range. So that is the reason why we want the price of Bitcoin to stay above this 46,000 range if we want to see any sort of an impulsive movement playing out here in price action. Because we have said if this is going to be more of a support around this 46,000 range, then the price of Bitcoin could be forming this double bottom type of scenario. Let me show you why. So if you are aware, we have talked about this falling wedge scenario, which laid out to be more of a fake out before breaking here to the upside. And in our case, since pretty similar scenario has unfolded, we have been very clear, if this is going to be again an impulsive movement, just like as shown here in an example, then we want the price of Bitcoin to also form this pretty similar movement, either this inverse head and shoulder or more of a double bottom type of scenario before breaking here to the upside. And in our case, you can see even though this was a falling wedge, we were not able to see a moving here to the upside. So that's why if this is going to play out just like as shown here in an example, right, you can see here forming this inverse head and shoulder or more of a double bottom, then we are aware the price of Bitcoin must hold this support around the 46,000 range. Because if we do manage to stay above that range, then the price of Bitcoin could see some sort of an impulsive movement here in the immediate short term, at least towards this 48,500 and again towards this 51,000 range, because this is exactly what this parallel channel is also showing us right now. You can see here, right, this parallel channel. So that is the reason for us, if the price of Bitcoin wants to show any sort of impulsive movement, then we have to overcome all this resistance, central line of this parallel channel, central CPI line and also the 20 exponential moving average, and that is around 48,500 range. And not just only this one here, guys, not just only this one here. If you look at this price movement here in the immediate short term, why I still believe the price of Bitcoin, if it's going to hold this support line here to the downside, could see some sort of a relief rally around this 48,000 area, because yesterday I showed you this one descending triangle, and why this descending triangle looks like it could be breaking it to the upside. Let me show you this one more time. Now, before I switch into other chart, I just want to make you aware, Bybit and Femex both are providing around $4,100 bonus each. I mean, the total of $8,200 bonus is being provided for our community members. So if you are an experienced trader and want to take advantage of this market volatility, then this is the great opportunity, because Bybit, as you can see, is providing around $4,100 bonus if you use my ref link and sign up, which is going to take you not more than a minute, and also with Femex. So I personally use Bybit for trading, and if you want to trade altcoins, then Femex could be a great option as well. Now let's switch into other chart. Those who watched my video from yesterday, I talked about this one price movement, right? Because we are aware the lower line here is an extremely important line of support. So that's why we said maybe the price of Bitcoin is forming another descending triangle breakout type of movement. Because if you look at this one here, resistance, resistance, resistance. Once we broke out of this resistance line, we had this new movement, and this new movement came exactly at the top of this descending triangle. Now let's focus on our price movement. This is also a pretty similar scenario. Resistance, 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 resistance. And yesterday, when we were trying to break out of it, exactly after reaching this falling trend line, we got a rejection. So now, since we are almost at the end, if we are going to see any sort of a movement here in this manner, right, price dipping bit and then trying to continue this movement, then we are aware we could be retesting the top of this descending triangle, and this top of descending triangle is lying somewhere around 51,000 range. So that is the reason, if the price of Bitcoin break out of this descending triangle, then first this 48,500 obstacle will be our first price target, and also breaking this 48,500 flipping into support will indicate another movement around this 51,000 price area. But what we don't want at any cost to happen is price losing the support from this parallel channel, because losing this support will invalid all this scenario what I just showed you, because that will clearly indicate a sign of weakness and potential price pullback around this lower line area of this right angle broadening wedge, and that could be around 42 to 43,000 range. So this are some of the quick update I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my video, guys, then please hit the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.